What's good with it? Now, you see, this is Gunners Collective, man, and I've told you guys over and over again that I don't really like to touch on a lot of different topics, man, that involved things that are going on right now. But I'm going to touch on this one, right? Just this one time, because I feel it has to be put out there. Now, the Goshen incident that happened, I didn't talk about it when it first took place because there was a child involved, a whole family involved, a massacre, and people were looking at it some type of way. And there was all kinds of theories and speculation of what happened, what went on, why it happened. And me not being from Tulare County, I didn't have the insight. I didn't know exactly what went down and why it went down. And we still don't. People are still out there speculating. There's a lot of he said, she said, that she said, that he said. One thing I do know is for sure is an incident did take place in January, mid-January, and it was ugly. It was like we haven't seen in a long time. Now, about a couple months prior, an incident did take place in Merced where a family also was taken out. And that was a personal beef. That was something over money, something that happened. And again, the authorities arrested who they thought were responsible for it. And that is what it is. You know, the man will go through his trials and tribulations. He'll go through his due process, and we'll see how it works out for him as far as Merced County goes. Now, in Goshen, Tulare County, Goshen is a small city, so everybody knows everybody. It's not even considered a city. It's a town. I have camaradas, I have homeboys from Goshen that I've done time with or that I've met along the way. And there's some real ones up out of Goshen. Shout outs and respects to them first and foremost. Now, when an incident takes place where a family is targeted or they are hurt within the incident, it's always an ugly situation. Now, I know at 10 o'clock, there was a press conference by the sheriff of Goshen, Tulare County, where he announced the arrest of two alleged, and I say alleged suspects, allegedly. And they're supposed to be validated Norteño gang members. Now, they're looking at it from the aspect and the point, according to this guy, North and South incident. Now, we know there's an end of hostilities within them walls of it. Outside of them walls, man, it's a different situation. Anything could have led up to this. To automatically assume that it's a North and South situation, I understand there's no speculation right here. They've done their due diligence, their due process, and they've kind of figured it out who they think are the suspects and the reasons behind it. Now, just because they arrested two individuals and say that they're validated Norteño gang members doesn't make it a North and South incident. It could have been something personal, could have been anything. And it's not up to us to judge people and speculate. Just because they arrested guys doesn't mean automatically this confirms the involvement of such individuals. Remember, everyone has their day in court. Now, how do I feel about this? I feel, just looking at it from the outside looking in, if they are caught up on this incident, if these guys go through the court process, and a baby was involved in the massacre, it's not a good look. You know, do I think that these guys were told by a group or organization to do this? Absolutely not. From my knowings and everything, all the time that I've ever done, no group organization would condone the killing of children, period. Doesn't happen. Now, it does happen when someone goes a little too far or they're thinking outside of the realm of what they should be doing and they handle business on their own. Each man is each man. You know, but do I think any group or organization said, hey, go out there and do this? No. You know, that's just not how it works, man. That's just not the get down. I wouldn't put that on anyone's plates. Men are men at the end of the day, and it doesn't involve, you know, the game doesn't involve civilians and kids until it does. And when it does, man, it's an ugly situation all around. Because what happens is it starts getting the focus of law enforcement, starts pinpointing, they start to blame people, they start to think that people are doing it for one reason or another. Now, this incident that took place, it looks local. It looks like there was beef there. Maybe individuals had words. Maybe people wanted to get in on the mix of whatever this family was doing. This family was known to be a drug-running family. And that's why the authorities automatically assumed it was people from a different country that sent sicarios and all that. But at the end of the day, we've come to find out through their investigations that that's not the case. It switched up all of a sudden. Now it's a North-South thing, what they're saying. I don't see it as that, gente. I see it as two individuals, or maybe three or four, we don't know, individuals that involved themselves in something that went a little bit over their pay grade, and it went awry. Now, anytime a baby is targeted or a baby is hit, and it's not a casualty of war. It's not anybody can get it. There's nothing acceptable about the loss of a child, period. When you're in the game, you're laced up a certain way for a long time. And one thing you're told as being a soldado, a norteño, a Southside, whatever it is, you know, children and civilians are off limits. They don't involve themselves in your mix. Don't involve yourselves in theirs. Okay, now I understand when you're going through the motions and things are taking place, adrenaline's pumping, things are happening fast. Menudo style, direct fashion, orale, para, pa, pa. All that, bad things happen. Mistakes happen. What happens to these two individuals that are incarcerated? Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't know the background on these guys. I don't know their history. I know according to the feds and the cops and whoever got them, that they're considered validated Norteño gang members. Now, anybody who's validated within the state of California, there's two type of validation processes. There's the one behind the walls that I absolutely went through, and there's also the one on the streets where you're a validated Norteño gang member on the streets, being from a street gang. That doesn't have anything to do with the organizations that are incarcerated and locked up behind them walls. It just merely means you are what you are. You're from a gang. That's what they consider you. They've chosen to believe and put this title on you. Again, titles. We always come back to titles. What people think you are doesn't necessarily mean what you are. Now, if these two individuals did do this, I don't think it's a good look. I don't know the background. I don't know the history. I don't know what they've done or at what level or what process they're going through. But I do know that they are going to be placed in the county jail. And I see one was shot and one was taken into custody without incident. It seems like the one that got shot, he wasn't going out like that. He ain't trying to go back, homie. He ain't trying to go to the pen. It's take me before you make me. But they obviously took him. He did get involved in a shootout with the federal government, and he's incarcerated. Now, these guys, I'm sure, will be segregated from everyone else just for the safety and security and their protection, but also because they're still trying to figure out this investigation. Now, nowadays, it's hard to get away with something. There's ring cameras. They're going to ping phones. They're going to do a lot in their investigation to get you. The only way to get away with certain things is if it's at random. If you just do it and there's any type of linkage or any type of people knowing about anything, someone's going to speak. Now, someone got at me right now. They're like, what do you think, Gun? Is someone going to roll in this case? I don't know. One never knows, does one? Is it any of our business? Absolutely not. We're just going based off what the news press conference is putting out there. Do I honestly think that these guys did it? I don't know. Do I care? I don't wish bad upon no one. I wish wholeheartedly this incident never took place because there was a 10-month baby and a 16-year-old woman involved, or a girl. You know, it's never good. If you have family members that are in the game, that are out there pushing that movement or doing whatever they're doing, you can become a liability. And it's just unfortunate that it happens, but that's part of the game. That's why you always try to keep your family at a distance. That's why if you're out there in the streets doing your thing, remember there's repercussions for every action that you're doing. If you're speaking on someone's name, they do have family members that can become involved, or you can get them involved. And it's just an ugly look. But that's the world we live in now. The anybody can get it world, right? Well, let me explain something to you. In prison, that's not the way it works. None of these group organizations condone that, or they never have. Times change. So I don't know exactly what rules and regulations are written or amended into constitutions, but one thing I do know is for sure, having been in Norteño for several years, it was frowned upon and looked down upon to bully, pick on, or, even mess with your own homeboys. If we put hands on another homeboy in a derogatory manner or a vicious manner, you will be DP'd. You will be checked. Believe that. Facts. So to say that anyone could do this to a kid or it was condoned or it was a hit, I don't think that was the case. I think this was merely an incident that took place between a few individuals and a family and the males of the family, and these guys went overboard. If it's even these guys. Again, it could be a he said, she said incident where people are putting it on their plate and they might not have done that. A lot of people wanted me to touch on this case when it first came out. Gunner, did you hear about Goshen? Yeah, I heard about it. I heard about it just like you heard about it. But one thing about my channel is I'm not trying to get people convicted. I'm not trying to get people caught up. I'm merely putting the voice out there for the people, putting the hood news out there. I know a lot of other channels are going to touch on it. They're going to give their perspective and their spill and how they feel about it. What's going to happen to these individuals that are caught up? Say they do get convicted. I don't think, honestly, in my humbled opinion, they will be able to go to a general population mainline, having, did that to a child, a couple children. But then again, I don't know. Things have worked out differently. I just know in my time doing time, and I can only speak on from what I really know and true facts, that was not condoned. That was frowned upon in a vicious fashion. So the people that ask me, why do I touch on certain things? I told you guys a long time ago, if it involves them guys out of Mexico, man, that are doing their thing, I will not touch on it. I like my head by my shoulders. Other than I ain't talking shampoo, right? There's certain people I know better to talk about. Certain people I don't, want to feel like they feel disrespected because I'm furthest from that. I'm not a prison channel. You know, I'm just merely a brown man that's been in prison that has a channel. I've told you that over and over again. Oh, you're scared, Gunner. You're damn right I'm scared. I say, I have a family. I have loved ones. And I don't want to see nothing happen to them like it happened to this family because of a couple guys' bad or wrong choices. Period. So anyone that wants to call me a poop butt, oh, you ain't with that, man, I'm just speaking facts and for really though. For surely though. You know, don't speak on people's business if it doesn't involve you. Don't think you can do whatever you want and get away with it, because that's not the way this world works. People care, homes. People are watching, and it's real. Now, this Goshen incident is an incident without saying, man, that's ugly. That's why they called it Operation Nightmare, as you see by the thumbnail. It was a nightmare. Anytime kids are hurt, it's a nightmare. For those of you that think it's cool and want to be there with your TikTok pants on, oh, anybody can get it, Holmes. I don't care if you're in the mix. You know what I mean? No, they weren't in the mix. They just happened to be in a household with people that quite possibly were in the mix. Now, to say it's a north-south thing, stop it. Stop trying to fuel the fire of this north-south stuff. Okay? My brother, I love my brother. He was involved in an incident and they tried to make it a north-south thing just because the guy happened to be from the south. Hey, Spencer, he just happened to be from there. One was from the north, one from the south, but it had nothing to do with north to south. He didn't care if he was fucking from Egypt riding a camel like Capone. He didn't care. Okay? It was all about feria. Now, in this incident, Goshen, I have no inside track to know what it was about or no rhyme or reason. One thing I do know that is 100% facts is an incident did take place, and now they have caught 2 people. Now, from what I hear, these 2 individuals, I got at a couple homeboys from Tulare County that do know a couple of people and then a couple of people, and they said, yeah, these guys, you know, they don't know if they would do something like that or not. I'm sure one of these guys, the 35-year-old, is seasoned enough to understand the ramifications for such a blunder. This only could be a mistake. It wasn't like, hey, get everybody. We're going to make it a point. We're going to let everyone know. Nah, the organizations I know don't work like that. You know, there's ways to wiggle. You know, because it only sheds a bad light on your people, and it only makes the law enforcement target you. So there's my 2 cents to the Goshen incident. Why I didn't touch on it in the beginning, why I will not touch on it again. But people wanted to ask me over and over and over again. I felt like, you know what? I'm not a puppet case, I said, but at the same time, I'm going to put it out there. These guys were arrested. That's the late breaking news. They're trying to say it was a Norteño on Southsider incident. I don't even know these people that lived in this home to be involved with the Southsider movement. If they were, hey, respects to them. My condolences to their family that are left. And it's just unfortunate, man. Why must we keep killing each other? Why must our brown people keep going under? You know, there comes a time and a place to stop the bullshit. But, you know, who am I? But a voice in the wind that say, guard! I don't want to talk to you right now. You're out there trying to make troubles. And that's it. So with that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose and you get every single thing that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, if there's certain things I don't touch on, I'm sure you could ask. You can ask, this is YouTube, hey, Gun, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? If you don't hear me touching on it, there's a reason for it. There's an absolute reason for it. And the reason is, it's none of my business. The reason is, I have a family that I care about too much to put them in danger. It's also that when an incident takes place where the whole family is eradicated, what makes you think yours is safe? Think about it, you know, use common sense here. I understand it's news, but we can't bring back what happened. If these guys are arrested, they will go through the motions. They will go through their due process. Will they be embraced? It's all love. Oh, you did that, homie. Charlie. You know, no one gets that type of love. There was a kid involved. Anytime a kid's involved in any type of case, it's ugly for you. Will these guys get rushed and all that? I don't know. I don't know exactly where they're going to be placed other than the county jail and segregation, I am sure. And with that being said, that's what it is. Move with a purpose. Go out there and get it for your familia while you still have them. We only have one life to live. Live that life to the fullest. With that being said, I hope that you get what you want. You already know what it is. Like and subscribe to Gunners Collective, Gunners Profiles. Hit me with that thumbs up, man. I'm just being real. If you don't like it, then be real fake and go find Bigfoot. If not, hit me with that thumbs down. Heaven's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle for what I honestly and truly believe in, and that's peacefully the coming together of all people, man. I hate when people try to make things a north to south incident. It's like all the steps we took to get it together. We're trying to get it together, canalito, right? We're trying to get it together. People keep pulling us away. It's all set up by design, man. It's all set up with the energy, man, because they don't want to see the brown people succeed. I'm just being real. With that being said, you already know what it is. This is the Gun, bang, bang, and in that fashion, pensa na tira.